Hello everyone, the Hobbyist Vlogs here, and today just wanted to expose these issues of Nissan Navara. I'm not saying that Nissan Navara is not a good brand or not a good car because I am a Nissan owner and I'm a Nissan guy. I prefer this brand and this specific car for my family and my business. So, I think I'm credible enough to create this vlog and explain this further because I own a 2019 EL 4x2 Nissan Navara, and right now I own a 2024 Pro 4X um, variant. So 4x4, there's lots moving parts at the front part compared to my 2019 Navara. So let me proceed on the first issue. And if you're a Nissan Navara owner, maybe you know this already, or you knew this already. So um, I think it's a little bit crucial for me or critical for me because it is somewhat related, not just somewhat, it is related to the safety of the driver and of your passengers because it is related to the um, steering system of your car. So, but the good news is, it is not, the problem is not the steering rack and pinion assembly as a whole. It has something to do with the bushing that holds it in place. So if you're a 2019 or early year model owner of Nissan Navara, uh, maybe you experienced this already. So the bushings of the rack and pinion assembly is a lot softer or too soft, and the symptoms of this problem is when you are, even if your car is new, uh, of course if your car is new, everything is aligned, your wheels are aligned, everything is clean, and of course the rubbers are still good and the bushings are still good. So when you're cruising on highway speeds, when you release your hand a bit from the steering wheel, you will notice that the car or your Nissan Navara is trying to drift to a certain direction. Maybe it's going to the right or left. So this soft bushing is causing that problem. And the reason behind it, your rack and pinion, which is responsible on your power steering or steering your car to any direction, it is trying to compensate. So when you're moving, there's a lots of imperfections on the road. So that soft bushing is moving, and the whole rack and pinion is moving a little bit. That's why it's trying to drift away from your lane. So that's the first problem. I talked to Nissan, and they responded to me. They explained to me that the purpose of that is to avoid abrupt movement of the car when you abruptly steer your car on highway speeds. Okay, um, I agree with them. Like, it is a little bit of, I think, yes, it's a good safety measure, but I think it can be compensated by the driving habit of the driver. But anyway, let's agree to disagree. Um, and also the cons of that, another cons of that is actually when you are trying to align your wheels, even if you perfectly align your wheels on any service center, that drifting problem will not go away, unfortunately. So what you can do is to resolve that problem. I think I've seen lots of posts on Facebook, mechanics saying that they can resolve it. They can replace it with a polyurethane rubber. I think it is commonly colored by blue and red rubbers. You can replace those bushings with those polyurethane bushings, and it's stiffer compared to the original rubbers or regular rubbers. um, and there's a cons with that, so you will feel a little bit you will feel the imperfections of the road a little bit to your steering wheel, and it's not really obvious, the difference, it's just minimal. So if you prefer removing that drifting away issues from the Nissan Navara, then you can go and have it replaced by your mechanic. So it is not an issue for me. Actually, it is. I think it's by design. I'm not saying that I'm better than the engineers of Nissan Navara, but there's always room of improvement. So these engineers are trying to explore um, solutions to improve the experiences of the owners of these certain cars. So anyway, that's the issue for my 2019 Navara. Oh, before I forget, actually the soft rubbers also helps us driver to lessen the feel on the steering wheel, so that we can feel less the imperfections of the road on the steering wheel itself while we are driving. So anyway, that is it for that. Let's move on the next issue for my 2024 Pro 4X. So on my 2024 Pro 4X, I noticed that the rack and pinion assembly is moving less, or maybe the car is still young. Okay, because I this Nissan Navara is still almost 2 years old. Okay, so maybe those rubber they made it a little bit stiffer. Okay, and that is actually good because I noticed it is no longer drifting away from the lane when I'm trying cruising on highway speeds. But there's a but. I think there's another issue. Um, if you're familiar with the steering joint coupling, so I'll show the image on this video. It is the one that is responsible steering the rack and pinion, or rotating the rack and pinion parts from your steering wheel um, to the rack and pinion. Okay, so it is like the structure of it is like a steering, not steering, sorry, it's like a cross joint. So I'll show these photos on the video. Um, so what I noticed that it is in an awkward position. There's a lot of curve on the steering joint coupling. So this curve causes a lot of stress when you're trying to steer to the right or any direction, especially when your car is not moving. The symptoms of this is when you're trying to your car is not moving and you're trying to steer to the left and right. You will hear this sound or maybe feel it on your hands, like it says krug, krug, like krug, in any direction. So if you're hearing this or feeling this from your steering wheel, then the problem is the steering joint coupling. So my car is really young to experience this kind of issues. That's why I'm trying to justify that this is an issue when it comes to the steering joint coupling. I'm not saying that it is a major issue. Maybe for some of you it is just a minor issue, but for me, I think it should be perfected by the engineers because we're talking about the steering system of a car, and our safety is highly relying on these systems. So yeah, maybe I'll change it. Maybe if I have the enough funds, because this will cost me 19,000 to 21,000 pesos. So let me just check how much is that in US dollars. Okay, so maybe 21,000 divide by 59, let's say. So it will cost you probably around 355 US dollars, or if you're in another country. So I think those are just the two major issues for me that I can say about this Navara. So I'm not. Some of you on the internet are saying that Ford has lots of issues. I think it's more of the location of the issue, and it doesn't matter if you're having a Chinese, Japanese car brand, or maybe a US car brand. All of them has its own imperfection, and all of them has a little bit of room, or maybe a lot of room of improvement on the next generations of those car models. So anyway, this content is about the Nissan Navara. I'm not here to discuss issues on another car brands. So the point is, if you're planning to buy Nissan Navara. It is a good car. It is a reliable car, especially the engine. They are not upgrading the engine too much because why would they like change the model of the engine? Because it is reliable enough. I think Toyota is doing a really great job when upgrading their engines every 5 years, maybe 5 years. Maybe I'm wrong. Um, and their engine are still reliable when other car brands can't perfect it. Maybe I heard some other car brands upgrades their engine every 5 years, but new issues arises. And I think Toyota is doing really a good job on reliability, especially on engines. So anyway, enough with Toyotas, and I own Nissan Navara. Again, Nissan Navara is a very reliable car for me, especially the engine, under chassis. It's just that these imperfections do exist. So yeah, I hope I was able to help Nissan Navara owners or even non-Nissan Navara owners who's planning to buy Navara in the future, and I hope you get it. More blessings to you. And if you have any questions, if you disagree, or maybe you have some kind of insight you wanted to discuss this further, please feel free to leave your comments on the comment section. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.